Hey guys, I'm starting off this podcast just a little bit differently. So just pause, listen to these ocean sounds, take a breath to just be in the present. Enjoy. And now, let's get into the podcast. Hey, it is 2020. It is no longer 2019. So, whoop whoop. It's going to be a really good year. And I want to start off this new year by talking about the new year a little bit. And kind of a different take I'm doing on, I guess, New Year's resolutions or goals or kind of the whole spiel people do at the end of a year and going into a new year. And so it's exciting. And so just some observations around this subject. There's a lot of excitement in the air about a new year. You see people glad to leave, the struggles and the trials of the previous year, which in this case is 2019, but they're glad to leave those behind and move into a new year, to new beginnings. And there's nothing necessarily wrong about that. It's a great time to reflect on what happened the previous year and kind of figure out where you want to go this next year and how you want to adjust and make it better, do things differently, etc., etc. And but I've noticed that a lot of people, I'll say, that I've seen, they're really hyped up at the beginning of a year, and you'll see them say things like, "This is going to be the best year yet. This will be the best year ever. This is the year that everything changes," etc., etc., things like that. And then by the end of that year, they just can't wait to get to the next year. And then you hear them say things like, "That was the hardest year of my life. That year sucked. I'm so ready to be done with you, 2019 or whatever the case is." Which there's nothing wrong with that. Life is hard a lot of times, and but I do think that just because the calendar changes and it turns a new year, a new decade, instead of December 2019, it says January 2020. That's not going to change anything in my life, in your life, if we don't change. So, just because the ball drops on New Year's Eve in New York City, doesn't mean that anything is going to change in my life if I'm not proactive in preempting those changes and actually doing something differently. And a lot of New Year's resolutions typically are all centered around this word more, M-O-R-E. It's a very small word, but it tends to mean a lot at the change of years, at the transition of seasons like this, where you'll hear a lot of, "I want to be more fit. I want to read more books. I want to be more proactive in relationships. I want to be more successful. I want to make more money," etc., etc., etc. I want to go on more trips. I want to travel more. I want to see more, do more, think more, love more, blah, blah, blah. You get the point. More. And the stats are, I think 92% of New Year's resolutions fail from a study. It's somewhere around 90%. I think it's 92, but that might be a little bit off. But so most of New Year's resolutions fail by February. And so the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So obviously that's not working. So from my perspective, we stop being stupid and we do something different. And in this episode, I'm going to be kind of interspersing some relaxing ocean sounds that I recorded on a trip over to the coast. I live about 3 hours drive from the ocean, the Pacific Ocean in Northern California. So we spent a couple days there with the family this holiday season, and I recorded some cool ocean sounds just with my phone. The ocean always to me represents stillness, quiet, peace. And so I'm going to intersperse them throughout this episode. And so I want you to be intentional with the time, and close your eyes if you can, if you're in a safe place to do that. Close your eyes, picture you're at the beach, and just really take a real deep breath, and just pause for 30 seconds or a minute. Just listen and just breathe. You're welcome for giving you some space in your life to do that. But if you want more of that, you will need to be proactive and make space to breathe, to stop and smell the roses. Just be childlike and just have fun and not be so high stress about everything. But anyways, so I was talking about the thing about do more stuff. But what if, I want to challenge that. What if we did something different? What if we went the other way? What if we made it our goals and dreams and kind of thinking about the new year? What if we went the other way and went towards the direction of less instead of more? I think that can be a powerful thing. I just want you to think about that. What would that look like if you challenged the quote-unquote status quo, the thing that's normal, because normal is most of the time not the best way. So if I see a crowd of people heading one direction, I know the best route to take is probably the exact opposite way. That's been true for me, at least. So this thing about more is kind of this like crazy action focused thing, which is beautiful, and there's so much we could talk about there, but I'm focusing on one specific thing today in this episode. For me, at least, when I get really focused on doing more, I kind of get to be like this hamster spinning on a wheel, where I'll do stuff, but the stuff I do isn't necessarily the right stuff. And so I'm going to use this analogy of a ladder. A lot of us are trying to get to the top of this ladder. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of us are climbing the wrong ladders. So if we're climbing the right ladder, we get to the top, and that's awesome. But if we're climbing the wrong ladder, so to speak, we get to the top and realize that we wasted all that time, that's not fun. That's really painful. And so how do we make sure we're climbing the right ladder? That's what I'm talking about. And that's this thing of connecting to our hearts. So if we really want to climb the ladder that's right for us, not for anybody else, we're not looking around and looking at what everybody else is doing, but if we want to climb the ladder, do the thing, pursue the passion, do the thing that's in our hearts that we're called and destined to do. Every one of us has been born with a purpose and a destiny in life. And it's very specific to whoever we are. It's very specific to each one of us. And so it's easy to chase these rabbit trails, these shiny ladders, and think that we'll be happy if we get to the top of those. But we get to the top and realize we just pushed a lot of people out of the way, and this was the wrong ladder anyways. I got to go down and find the right ladder for me. And that's this thing of self-awareness and being connected to my heart. So when I'm connected to my heart, to my true self, my heart is my true self. It's that inner being. It's who I really am. It's the thing that's really me. It's really Japheth. It's not anybody else. And most people are very disconnected from their hearts, and they're living from their logic, and what they think they want, what they think they're supposed to do. But if we're being honest, a lot of us don't really know what we actually want in life because we're not connected to our hearts. So that's my challenge to you this year. Go on a journey, and a journey is just that, a journey. It's not something that happens fast. But set aside 2020. Set aside the next rest of your life. That's what I'm doing to get more connected to our hearts. Because when we get connected to our hearts, we get connected to our true selves, to what we really want, what we truly want, the desires and the dreams in our hearts. And when we're connected to that, then we can run after those things. We can climb the ladders we were born to climb and not waste our time chasing these things that don't fulfill us, that aren't for us, that are for other people, that are pointless, will just bring us pain and hardship. And, obviously hardship and trials are unavoidable in life. In life you'll have trouble. But there is trouble that can be avoided. If we know who we are, we're connected to our true selves, to our hearts, to our dreams, to our passions. We can pursue those things. We can pursue them with the people that God has placed in our lives. And we can stop and smell the roses and be present in the journey. And here I'm gonna pause and let you stop and smell the roses and listen to the ocean sounds for a second. Breathe. And welcome back. I hope that short breath was helpful, was good for your heart, allowed you to be connected to the present moment for a second. And that's what it's all about, being connected and being present to life. I recently had a revelation on this, kind of a light bulb moment about being present. And I realized that there's always going to be a place to go. There is always a destination in mind. There's always the next amazing thing. There's always something that we all are trying to get to attain. And I just realized life is really miserable if I'm only focused on the destination and I'm dissatisfied with the present moment where I don't yet have what I'm going after. And so I'm dissatisfied with my present state. And that makes me, that's a miserable existence. It's exhausting. It's tiring. And so I've come to the conclusion that the only good way to live is to live in the present, to live in the right now, in the here and now. To live in today and to know that, yeah, I'm going to reach the destination one day, but there's always more destinations. There's always more goals, more things to run after, to chase, to pursue. But if I can't be happy where I'm at in this middle state, where I'm in the middle, I'm not at the end of the race, but I'm in the middle. And sometimes it's really hard. But if I can't be content in this present moment, life's going to be really miserable, a lot more miserable than it needs to be. And I I'm pretty simple. I don't want a miserable life. I don't know many people that do. So that's something I'm thinking about a lot. That's something that's been on my heart. Like, being present. What does that mean? What does that look like? I've been reading this book called Man-Child. I just finished it the other day. It's by my good friend Brandon Walden. It's incredible, but he asks a lot of questions about being childlike. What would life look like if we were more childlike? Not childish, but childlike. What if we? And he used the analogy of going on a walk on the beach with your kid, and you as the parent have a destination of going to see this specific thing on the beach, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but you have this destination in mind. But your kid, he's going to want to stop and look at the seashells and go splash in the waves, and it might take forever to get to your destination. But if you're so focused on your destination, you miss out on the beauty in the present moment. And so that's a lot of what I'm thinking about for 2020. Not just 2020, but the rest of my life. How can I be more childlike and stop and smell the roses and just take time to just pause and smell the ocean breeze when I'm there. Pause in the mundane and really enjoy that, because I don't think the other stuff's going to matter so much when I'm 60 years old, 80 years old, when I got grandkids and great grandkids. And I don't think I'm going to look back and regret missing out on life because I was so focused on making more money or whatever that is. I don't think I'm going to regret that. Don't think I'm going to regret it at all. I think I'm going to be grateful for the fact that I lived wholeheartedly and I lived in the present moment with my hands open, not clenched, my fists open, not closed. I think I'm going to be grateful. And I'm going to be grateful that I didn't go chasing other people's ladders, but that I took the time. I cried the tears. I did the hard work. I had the hard conversations. I did the work to get to the root of my pain and stuff that's blocking me from connecting to my heart, to my true self. I connected with my heart and I connected with my passions and the beautiful things inside me. And I followed those. I followed the ladders that only I could climb. The ladders that I was born to find, to seek out, to climb. And I'm going to be really grateful that I lived wholeheartedly. Here's another moment of breathing, of refreshing. So just close your eyes, listen to the ocean sounds for a sec. And I'm back, and as I get close to wrapping this episode up, I just wanna end by posing the question: what if we stopped and smelled the roses more often? What if we stopped and played in the ocean, played with the pebbles, with the shells on the beach more often? What have we got to lose? What have we got to lose? And also another question, like, what ladder am I climbing up? Am I climbing up this thing because I feel like people will like me more if I do it? If I feel like I have to? If I feel like my parents expect me to, if I feel like other people expect me to, but it's really not something that I feel called to do, that I really in my heart of hearts really want to do. Am I truly connecting with the child, the innocent, curious child inside of me? Am I being kind to myself? Am I connected to my heart and to my desires, to my dreams? What are my dreams? And it's a lot of questions, but kids ask a lot of questions. And that's what I want to be like. It's what I want to be known for. So looking forward 60 years, 80 years, that's what I want to be known for. I want to be known as the carefree guy who loved really well, really made people feel special, feel like he cared about them, because he really did. I want to be known as the guy who was really ambitious and chasing big, impossible dreams, but also really content with where he's at and just living in the present while also looking to the future. Living in the present, looking to the future. Both are true, both are good. And truth and tension is what he embraced. So there's some food for thought. Maybe you can do that. Like, imagine yourself, when you're 40 years old, 60, 80, whatever that moment looks like for you. But just imagine yourself in that. Then ask, what do I really want for my life? What am I gonna wish I'd done differently? Are there things that I wish I wouldn't have wasted my time with? Relationships that I wish I would have pursued or let go of? All of those things. So, and it's a lot of reflection and questions, but it's good. It's really good. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to end it with some more beautiful ocean waves crashing on the beach. Enjoy this and make life awesome. You got this. All right, peace out. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I would love if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting platform, as it really does help the show out. You can find me on Instagram at Japheth Mast, that's spelled JaphethMast, or my website, japhethmast.com. Have an amazing week, and don't forget, make life awesome.